Hey everyone, it's Rashila Lynn once again and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be talking about all of the symptoms I felt during my second trimester from experience, and I guess a lot will also agree with me. Second trimester is the easiest time of the entire pregnancy. It is on the 4th, 5th, and 6th month of pregnancy. So in my case, that was January to March of 2021, and it usually starts with almost all of the uncomfortable first trimester symptoms going away. So I did not feel pain in my boobs anymore. There was no more cramping in my lower abdomen. I didn't pee so much or as frequently anymore, and I wasn't very sensitive to smell and other odors anymore. Here are the other changes that I felt. One of my favorite second trimester symptoms was having a smaller appetite, or sometimes no appetite at all, which was kind of good because I had to watch my weight and make sure that I don't gain so much. So during the first trimester, I wanted to eat a lot. Like, even when I had no specific cravings, I felt like snacking on something which wasn't exactly healthy. This time, when the second trimester started, it was easier to control and stay away from carbs and junk food. And in this trimester, I would get very vivid dreams sometimes. Not too often, but I don't usually get vivid dreams when I am not pregnant. The last time I tried this was when I was also pregnant, way back 2017. So at that time, I experienced getting very vivid dreams. I would wake up laughing or crying. This time, like for this pregnancy, I experienced waking up crying because of a dream that felt so real. It's quite funny looking back though, but yeah, I found out that it's actually because of our hormones. Oh, and I wasn't as cranky or emotional compared to the first trimester anymore, but I still was. Like at night, I would spend so much time reflecting on my day and my thoughts and my life in general. Sometimes I would end up crying to my husband, but it wasn't the irrational kind. And like during the first trimester, when I would literally have emotional outbursts out of nowhere. I guess the daily meditation helped, which I started doing a little after I got pregnant during the first trimester. Another favorite symptom that started specifically when I was into my 16th week of pregnancy was feeling the baby kick. At first, it was the kind that I would just feel internally. Like as mothers, we'd feel something like a fish somersaulting or swimming inside our tummy, hitting some organs or what. So at first, when I would place my hand over my tummy, I wouldn't feel anything. I could just feel it inside. It wasn't until I turned 18 weeks pregnant when the kicks were more pronounced and could be felt from the outside. And that was also the time my husband was finally able to feel the baby's kicks as well. Something you moms might need to be careful about is developing food allergies you've never had before. So when I was 17 weeks pregnant, I suddenly became allergic to crabs. It was my first time ever reacting to crabs that way. I ate crabs all my life, like whenever I wanted. So at that time, I was 17 weeks pregnant. I ate crabs like I would, but then I started sneezing the whole night after dinner. And my under eye, I guess that was my right under eye, became very, very itchy. Like it was visually obvious. It was so red and swollen. I kept scratching it. My throat was also itchy. Thankfully, I did not have any difficulty in breathing. I just took one dose of antihistamine, went to bed, and I woke up the next morning feeling better. Around that time, still in my second trimester, I finally found a remedy to my pregnancy rhinitis. So after 10 weeks of sleeping with a clogged nose, I was finally free from it. My pregnancy rhinitis completely went away by 19 weeks. You may check out this video if you want to know all about my pregnancy rhinitis story. An odd symptom that I didn't have problems with earlier during the pregnancy is nausea and vomiting. So I felt nauseated a few times before, but it wasn't until this time in the second trimester that I really felt quite sick and actually threw up while I was cleaning up my toddler's poop. So maybe it was the smell, but it only happened once and never happened again. It was just that one time, and that was so weird because I normally am not grossed out by those kinds of things. So I was really wondering why, but by the middle of the second trimester, I started becoming more productive and energetic. My mood was finally up and I was happier almost always. I also stopped taking naps, so I had more time to do things. However, I was getting a bit heavier, and of course the baby was growing, so I also started feeling a bit of lower back pain, especially during bedtime, depending on my sleeping position. Good thing this was also the time I started doing yoga for 30 minutes every other day. So like every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do my 30-minute cardio, and every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I do my 30 minutes of yoga. That really eased my back pain. And as long as I have been doing my yoga until today, my back pain never returned. My teeth have also become very sensitive. This is something I have experienced during my first pregnancy when I was pregnant with Cairo back in 2017. And it was quite confusing back then because I went to the dentist and brought it up during my prenatal checkup, but there was no intervention given. So I just switched my toothpaste to Sensodyne, and the teeth sensitivity eventually gradually went away. It was actually just these parts, like not all of my teeth, but it was whenever I ate warm food or cold food. So it wasn't particularly sensitive to just cold drinks. It was almost anything, including warm food and room temperature water. This time around, I didn't bother going to the dentist or asking my doctor. I just immediately started using Sensodyne again. And just like during the first pregnancy, it gradually went away. I also started having palpitations this trimester. Not anything scary though. It's just that sometimes, even while I am resting, I would feel my heart beating too fast. Sometimes it's not that fast, but it's too strong and it gets quite difficult to breathe. It's almost like running or sprinting and then trying to catch your breath afterwards. I know this really happens in some pregnancies, so I do not panic or anything. As long as I did not black out, I usually just sit and wait for the palpitations to go away, and I never tried losing consciousness or fainting or anything, so that's alright. So yeah, those are all the second trimester symptoms I have experienced. It sounds like a lot, but like I said, the second trimester was always the easiest times of both my pregnancies. If you have a different experience, feel free to share in the comment section below, or you may also ask me some questions if you have any. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in my other videos.